Today I am going over 3 tips and tricks for apartment hunting in Chicago. Hey everyone, if you are new here, my name is Kayla and I am an agent with Consumer Realty Group and part of the Wendy Lux team. Today I am going over 3 tips and tricks for apartment hunting in Chicago. The first tip is know your budget. So how do you figure out your budget? Typically the rental requirement is that you make 3 times the rent per month. So take your yearly income before taxes and divide that by 12 and then divide that by 3. So if you make $75,000 per year, that is $6,250 per month. So you can afford an apartment up to $2,083 per month. If you make $50,000 per year, you can afford an apartment up to $1,388. If you make $200,000 per year, you can afford an apartment up to $5,555. Now, just because you can afford this much doesn't mean you have to spend this much. Keep in mind that rental prices do not include utilities or parking. So you're going to have to pay for that on top of the rent. I would budget around $150 to $200 for heat, water, sewage, trash, cooking gas, internet, and electricity. Some places you will have a utility fee and pay your own internet and electricity. Some places will include the internet in the utility fee and you just pay your own electricity. It depends on what the building offers, but on average I would budget $150 to $200. Now let's talk about parking. Parking in Chicago is expensive. So if you don't need a car, then don't have one. If you have a car and you're thinking of getting rid of it, do it. If you're moving from out of state and debating on whether or not you should bring your car, don't. Parking in an on-site garage can average around $300 per month. Parking on the street can be nice if there are free options, but a lot of places are going to have permit parking, pay to park, and street parking can fill up, especially during peak times, like when people are getting home from work and on the weekends. And if you don't know how to parallel park, then I don't know what to tell you. The city gives out tickets like crazy. You can't park during certain times of the year or if there's over 2 inches of snow on the ground. It can be a lot. There's plenty of public transportation that makes it easy to get around without a car. There are bikes, scooters, Uber, Lyft, etc. But if you have a car and you must bring it and you need a spot, budget an extra $300 per month. So you can see how quickly $2,000 can turn into $1,550 when you think about utilities and parking. Or if you like a $2,000 apartment, you should budget $2,450 for parking and utilities. When it comes time to apply for an apartment, you're going to have to provide your proof of income. These can be your last 2 pay stubs, a signed offer letter with your salary on it, your W-2 or tax return, 3 months of bank statements showing 3 times the monthly rent and deposits. So what I mean by that is if you qualify for a $2,000 apartment, your bank statement should show a minimum of $6,000 each month in consistent deposits. If you're an international student, you can use your passport and your I-20. Now let's talk about location. So now that you have figured out your budget, you need to figure out where you want to live and more importantly, what your must-haves are and where you're going to get everything you want in your budget. There's 77 neighborhoods in Chicago. So a $1,000 apartment in River North is not going to be the same as a $1,000 apartment in Rogers Park or Logan Square or South Shore. So typically starting here is going to be the most expensive, and as you go out, it will get less expensive. Near North Side and the Loop, which have sub-neighborhoods, Gold Coast and Streeterville, are going to be more expensive than if we go up north to Uptown or out west to North Lawndale or out south to Chatham. I would say this area here in general is going to be more expensive than the rest of the city. So these are areas like Lincoln Park, Logan Square, Westtown, near West Side, which is where West Loop is, near South Side, which is where South Loop is, near North Side and Loop, which, like I said before, which is where Gold Coast, Old Town, Streeterville is. But anything closer to the lake is going to be more expensive than anything west of the lake. So, for example, Oakland, Kenwood, Hyde Park are going to be more expensive than Washington Park and West Woodlawn. Lakeview and Uptown are going to be more expensive than Lincoln Square and Irving Park. On average, there are hidden gems everywhere. So let's do an example here. So I think the median income is around $70,000 per year. So we can look for apartments that are around $1,900 a month. So let's assume we have a side hustle so we can afford the $150 in utilities and we don't have a car. Here is what an apartment in Streeterville will look like for $1,900.
So we do have a studio apartment, which does have carpet. It does come with the Murphy bed. The kitchen is updated, which is nice. It has the little opening so that you can set up a breakfast bar area. Has a nice closet space. You do get a view, some amenities, but there is no washer and dryer in the unit here.
Here is what an apartment in Lakeview will look like.
We get a lot more space. This one is a true one bedroom with hardwood floors, updated open kitchen floor plan, large windows.
Now let's go over to Washington Park.
We go over to Washington Park and we can get a 4-bedroom, 2-bath that's updated, walk-up building. So you get way more space in this area for the same price.
Here's an apartment in Westtown.
So in Westtown, you can get a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, but it's not really going to be updated. You will have a lot of space. Laundry won't be in the unit.
And here's a $1,900 apartment in Portage Park.
Here you can get a whole house with updates, natural light, and plenty of space.
Do you see how your money's value changes depending on the neighborhood? So you're going to have to determine what are your must-haves, what are you willing to sacrifice. If you want a 2-bed, 2-bath with in-unit washer and dryer, an updated kitchen with an island, and you need a parking space but you can only pay $1,500 a month, then you probably shouldn't be looking in River North. If you want all that and you want to live in River North, be prepared to spend at least a minimum of $3,500 per month, which means you have to make at least $126,000 per year. Or you can get a roommate. That's $1,750 each, and you're able to compromise that way. All right, let's look at another example. So let's say you want to live in West Loop, but you can't afford what you want. I always say live by the neighborhood you want to live in. So I had a client who wanted to spend $2,100. She wanted washer and dryer, in-unit, garage parking, and she had to have it updated. She initially wanted to be in the West Loop, so we were looking at places that were around $1,750 per month, because I budgeted $150 for utilities and $200 for parking. So in West Loop, $1,750 is going to get you maybe a studio, and that studio is going to be around 400 square feet. So we went by the West Loop, and we found a 1-bed for $1,800, $150 garage parking, and $150 for utilities. No amenities, but she had her parking, she had her updated kitchen, and even a little outdoor space that she could entertain guests. And we were right on Madison, so she could take the bus downtown to get to work. So she was willing to compromise on location and not be right in the mix, and she was able to get everything that she wanted. I hope that makes sense and puts things into perspective. If you have any questions, comment below. I'm also going to do a mini series on each neighborhood, what they can offer, so that you can determine the best neighborhood for you. Now let's talk about when to start looking. I think it's good to figure out your budget, your must-have, things you're willing to compromise on, and which neighborhood will meet your needs like 6 months to a year in advance. But you don't need to start physically touring apartments until 30 to 60 days before your move-in date. I know you think you're getting ahead of the game, but you're not. And here's why. The market is constantly changing. Prices are changing every day, concessions are changing every day, and a lot of buildings won't even let you hold an apartment for longer than that time period. Some buildings say you have to move in within 2 days, 7 days, 14 days. Some places do 30-day or 45 days or 60-day holds, which means if you can apply for an apartment on June 1st, you don't have to move in until August 1st. There was one building that offered 2 months free and $100 parking, and the next month they changed it to 1 month free and $200 parking, and a month after that there was no free months and the prices went up. So that's a $700 difference in the same building within 2 months.
Yesterday's price is not today's price. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
A lot of places also have pricing programs such as YieldStar and LRO, which is basically how the pricing of plane tickets work. You can look at apartment 1305 and it'll be $1,400 if you move in on the 1st, but it will jump up to $1,705 if you move in on the 15th. If you want to get an idea of the building, go on YouTube. There are plenty of videos of different apartments and videos of the attractions in the area. You can also reach out to me or the building to send you video tours. Don't tour apartments in person unless you're willing to apply within 24 to 48 hours. This is because a lot of places offer specials that are only valid for those time periods. When you are touring apartments, be ready to pay, let's say, about $600 up front. That is for application and admin fees. A lot of places will have a look and lease special, so after you look at the apartment and apply to lease it, you can get your admin fee credited back. But that will only be valid for up to 48 hours and some places only 24. When you apply for an apartment, you're taking it off the market, setting your moving date, and submitting your income documents like the ones I discussed earlier in the video. It typically takes about 3 to 5 business days for the company to review your documents, run your credit, and once that is accepted, they will send you your lease agreement and you can pay your rent. Most places in Chicago do not charge a security deposit, just the admin fee, but if you're going to be renting with a private landlord, they will probably charge a security deposit. Some places will be offering concessions. Concessions are specials such as 1 month free. Some places prorate, some do not. Most places do not. So what that means is if the rent is $1,900 and you get 1 month free on a 13-month lease, they will literally not charge you rent on your second month or maybe your last month. And some places will let you pay $1,753 per month. You can do it both ways. You just need to budget. So if you need help with how to budget for that, reach out to me and I can definitely help you. On the free month, basically on the free month, you're going to have self-control. Take that money out as if you were prorating it and dig into it every month. If you don't have self-control, then give the money to a friend who has self-control. Chicago has a busy leasing season, which is basically like March through September, with peak season being June through August. What this means is everyone will be looking at the same time. Apartments are going to be rented quickly. Imagine the apartment you're seeing, 10 other people are looking at that same apartment. Someone's going to take it. So if it meets all your needs, apply right away and take it off the market. Even though the weather is cold November through February, it is better to move because you will get better deals. So if you have to move in June, try to sign a 15 to 18 month lease so that your lease will end in the winter and you will have better pricing options to consider if you do want to move. I also recommend, if you know you do not want to move, sign a 2-year lease. This locks in your rate for 2 years versus 1 year, where your rent can go up anywhere between 2 and 10%. And now you're scrambling to move. Woo! So we covered a lot. This is a lot to remember and involves a lot of research, which is why it's okay to get help. Apartment brokers do all the hard work, and you just have the easy part of picking which option you like best and submitting an application. And it's free for you. How apartment brokers get paid is through the building as a referral fee. So if you do need help, feel free to complete my form below, and me or anyone on my team can help. Me personally, I will send you all your options Monday, follow up with which options you want to view by that Thursday. Sunday, we can view 3 to 5 apartments, and you apply that evening. I think this method works best because you get to take advantage of the specials. You lock in your apartment at that rate, secure it for your move-in date, and you're done. So if you need help or want to work with me or anyone on my team, complete the form in my bio. Also, stay tuned for my mini series on the different neighborhoods in Chicago. I'm going to be highlighting the rent prices, how easy parking is, what to eat, and what to do in the area. Comment below which neighborhoods you want me to review first.